What's going on, guys? Pegasus from the Wise Guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you hit subscribe and hit the bell. We are here today to talk about something I've been wanting to talk about for a little bit, but couldn't quite find the time, couldn't quite find the right words until I really had a conversation with some really cool players, really dope players around the world. Shout out to all my teammates. Shout out to all the guys on the Wise Guys. Shout out to Plus Five. Shout out to everybody, man. But yeah, we wanted to talk specifically about something that is pertaining to why Numeron is failing. It's a failure. Let's just call it what it is. Right now, it's failing. Now, why is it failing? That's the issue. I believe that, number one, and shout out to Miles Valentino, this is what I came across when having a discussion with him, because I was going one way and then I went completely the other way because of something that he said. Specifically, the problem right now, in my personal opinion, is that we basically have an abject failure in Zexal, and it is failing specifically because, one, everybody's prepared for it. So that's the first thing. Everybody's prepared for it, and when something is easily prepared upon, at the end of the day, you're just going to have a better chance. And everybody was so alert to it that it really couldn't do anything because everybody already sees it coming. It's like knowing somebody's about to walk through a door, and all you have to do is slap them when they come through the door. So you sit there and wait, and when they come through the door, you slap. You know what I mean? Like, it's already known. You already see it coming, and it's not so overpowering because really it's a glass cannon at the end of the day. So that is going to segue directly into this. At the end of the day, yes, it is a win button. Numeron Network is a win button. It is an OTK win button. It is a control win button most of the time if your deck can actually follow up and do well with that. But there is a tremendous issue that it has, in that it has to mesh well with a specific deck. And right now, while it can mesh with a few different decks, it doesn't mesh very well. It also cannot be the follow-up meshing. That is what the problem is. The follow-up. If your engine is already online, so let's take a deck like True Draco. Let's take a deck like Generator. If you're already online, you're already rolling with your deck, most of the time you're not going to be able to resolve your specific effects that you want to resolve because it's just not going to be allowed by your opponent. Duh. If you get your board cleared, basically, sure, you can turn the Numeron Network back on, but then you might be in a disadvantageous position, which is going to segue me into my next point. So getting that out of the way, sometimes you're just already, the math is off. Really, that whole segment I just talked about is really the math is off. It's too late. The timing is off. That's too late. The number one thing is the advantage that it is going against. Basically, you have Adamancipator with 3-block Dragon, too good at the resource game, too good at getting ahead of your opponent, not to mention the boards that they leave. You know what I mean? Now, when you put that aside, you talk about the other decks. Okay, well, Eldritch. Eldritch doesn't really care about doing anything on its turn most of the time. Sometimes they have the synchro stuff, but they can just say, okay, I'll set 4 pass if they open well. You know, the pure version, it's not going to care at all. And then there's just so many other decks where if you're not getting a stranglehold on the game with the Zexal package, then it's not all that it's cracked up to be. Yeah, the prepared thing, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, it's actually a glass cannon. And the advantage versus a glass cannon, the advantage deck will almost always win. Unless you can catch your opponent perfectly, like, let's say, Sky Striker versus Cyber Dragon in both of their primes. Sky Striker is just going to win more often because the advantage game versus the other side of the coin, it's just not going to go very well. It gets kind of glass cannonish. Now, yes, you can catch your opponent at the right time. You may be able to catch them specifically, but in the long run, in bigger tournaments where there's more, there's not so many big tournaments going on right now, but where there's more advantageous decks that play from advantage, it's just not going to do that well to have a glass cannon type card. Now, the win button in Numeron Network is nuts, but that's the issue. And frankly, that's all that I need to speak about because those are the 3 issues that I see with it. Let me know what you think about the Numeron engine down in the comments. Yes, it's still good. It's still good. So I'm not totally trashing it. But it's not all it was cracked up to be, and I believe that it was overhyped. But I said that a while ago, and I think it came true. I'm out, guys. YG, baby.